Gina Carano is on fire on Twitter lately, and we love to see it. This time, she's called out HBO Max for their scandal where their CEO was deploying bot accounts on Twitter and different comment sections to counter-signal bad reviews of HBO shows. And she's saying it's not just HBO that does it. It's also other Hollywood studios and other celebrities. And she thinks that, in any defamation lawsuit, this would be seen as intent to harm someone's reputation. So she's suggesting, not so quietly, that this happened to her when she was canceled in 2020. And that's certainly the way it seems from the outside, but there's no way to prove it. She also said that Disney considered buying Twitter, and the reason that they backed out of that decision was finding out with the help of Twitter that most of their users are fake.
Yep.
Most of the buzz that's on social media is dead internet theory. It's not real people.
It is very hard now to know, like when you're talking, like when you post something on the internet and you get a bunch of comments, how much of that is actual interaction with an actual human being and how much of it is manufactured engagement with another, that was created either by some type of marketing firm or just dead accounts or all these things. But it's not like we bought for a second that HBO was the only company that would have gone to the lengths of employing bots or fake accounts just to dunk on people they don't like. They live and die a lot of times they care more about what the critics think than they care about what the fans think these days, it seems like. I still laugh when they put like a positive Rotten Tomatoes score as like an advertising thing, as if anybody gives a crap about the Rotten Tomatoes score of a movie. Nobody really cares about it, because that was a thing for a while, right? Like all the movies would be like certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, so that means not like, what is it certified fresh? If you can buy the
reviews, why would that mean anything to anyone anymore? I'm gonna quote some of her posts here. Why buy Twitter and deal with that headache when you can create armies of bots to control the narrative for much less money and energy? It does your promoting for you without making it look like you're promoting yourself. Look, it's popular on all these accounts, strangely liked by a bunch of accounts with no names. It must be good. But what if it was used for something much more sinister? These damn critical YouTubers have too many followers. They're gaining traction. Let's censor them on top of sending in the fake bot armies, just enough to get the yes men and useful idiots on board and rolling. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I still wonder sometimes how many people are actually like using the social media discourse on what to watch and what to not watch. But I do think it's very, very relevant to the culture.
I think you can see social media engagement and know that it's genuine just when you look at it.
What gives that away to you?
Like the way that Wednesday was such a TikTok phenomenon. Yeah. Like that is organic popularity.
So actual like media being created out of it, not just responses, but
or the memes about Barbenheimer. Like all of these things are organic. You can tell when it's fake. And
I can give you an example when it wasn't real. So they actually said that Universal Studios, when Fast 9 was coming out, do you remember when all of those family memes started coming out right around the time Fast 9 came out? A lot of that was studio involved. I mean, they were making these ridiculous like Vin Diesel memes.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of that was created by the studio artificially. And even then, it felt artificial.
Suits aren't good at making memes. Suits aren't good at making Twitter clapbacks.
Now it feels real. My favorite one the other day, it says like Fast and the Furious 39, and it's Vin Diesel in like a rocket-powered wheelchair. And it says like the only thing, like one thing that doesn't die is family. Like I like stuff like that, but I do think that these types of campaigns are ripe for being manipulated by these companies. But it is up to the more educated internet eye to be able to figure out when it feels organic. Wednesday felt organic. People were creating their own dances out of the very, very iconic dance that came out of that. Dahmer was very, very successful in this because people would do what they do is they'd take the clip of him with the knife in front of the TV screen, and then they'd put their own video in the TV screen. It says like me making you watch Kurt Cobain interviews from 1993. So like that is right. Like that's really good.
You can't get away from it.
No,
you can't fake meme magic.
No, you can't.
But you can't. But also too, you can't get away from just anything. Whether we're talking about fake bots or we're talking AI or anything in that spectrum. Like you're not going to get away from it. Like we could talk about it as much as we want. We could, we hate this, we hate that. Literally, life is, everything is about finding a way to make something easier to do. Think of TV. Before TV, there were radios and records. Yep. But then TV came and it was in black and white. And then after that, it became color. And then from TV, it went to DVD or VHSs. Then it went
well,
to...
actually, it was Betamax in there.
Or that one.
Yeah,
boom.
like...
And then it goes to DVDs, yeah. And then from DVDs it goes to Blu-ray. Then it goes from Blu-ray. Everything is made in a way to be more easier to.
I still remember when I was watching an old episode of this back in the day. Some movie was being advertised on WWE, and I still remember when in the advertisement for the movie it said now, it used to say now available on VHS and DVD. When it switched to DVD and VHS because DVD had now become the dominant profile, it felt like I was actually watching a shift in the culture happen in real time.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to buy followers than to do the work to gain followers. It's easier to figure out a way to purchase bots to push this or whatever than to actually do the work of branding, marketing, etc. If I'm a studio exec ahead and I know I can, hey, if I pay whatever to have fake views and fake different things like the things that Gina's talking about, you're just as from a business perspective, you're trying to cut costs. And what's going to be cheaper, putting all this money into marketing and doing this, or using the finances to get maybe a bot farm or whatever the case may be. Is certain things is going to, you can't stop it. Yeah. You can't stop it. And now if you go independent, you can stop it for a minute, but eventually independent becomes corporate.
Yeah, which is sad to see sometimes, but it's it's one of those discussions that I like to have with people, because it's like you can see the soul leave a project once it becomes corporate sometimes, because it's just the way of the world. There's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. That's what happens. But that's actually still, for a lot of people, the American dream, whether they want to admit it or not, is to make something amazing and then make a lot of money off of it by selling it off to some larger corporation. Now, the most ardent supporters of their art and their work might be the ones who push back and not want to do that. And certainly we're seeing the rise of crowdfunding right now, which allows you to profit, make money, and create artistic vision that is not being hindered by large corporate entities. But for a lot of them, it's still about ending up getting that major distribution deal, getting that major financing from a firm or something like that, right? Yeah. I was talking to someone recently who said he left Hollywood because he got sick of asking people for money, meaning that he got sick of asking for funding for projects and stuff like that. And it's so hard to get anything greenlit to get made anyways. That's why I always say, like, good art is worth saving, because the actual process of making a movie is a Herculean effort that's so difficult to do to begin with that it actually should be more shocking to people that more things aren't, like, that more stuff isn't bad. Like, as bad as everything is, the fact that anything comes out amazing is really a testament to just how unique and amazing art actually is, because so much work goes into making a movie actually come to life, from idea and conception to writing to storyboarding to finding financing to getting executive producers on board, getting all of these people involved in this process. The fact that it can come out good is amazing. Like, to see something like that actually happen should be, like, it's why I think Mary likes to give me crap sometimes, because I tend to be more rose-colored glasses when I watch a movie. And I think part of it is because when I watch a film, even if it's not the greatest film in the world, it's just me, but I think about that. Like, that plays a role into it. And I understand you can't make a movie expecting someone to have this perspective, but I watch it and I'm like, wow, a lot of hundreds of thousands of man hours went into...
But the problem is they always expect the entire audience to have the same outlook that you have. Yeah. And anyone who makes something like... I mean, watching The Flash, I thought about this, or Blue Beetle. If you were involved in making those, you're going to watch it back and think it's the best thing ever and have no self-awareness as to where it falls short.
Absolutely. And
they expect the rest of the world to feel the same way.
My perspective is not one that they should be ever expect.
Never bank on that.
Yeah, they should never bank on that. You should go. Every audience should be treated as a blank slate.
Make money off of good content, not goodwill.
Yeah, like, but when I go in and watch a movie and I see like good lighting and I see it's like, wow, they had to block that scene that way. Like, I get that that's not
the film school in you.
That's like, I get that that's not the way you typically look at film production. I'm also more predisposed to just getting caught up in it. Like, I like to point out, look, I don't think of myself when we review movies as a movie reviewer. I go watch a movie, and however I leave feeling that movie is how I feel about the movie. Well, and I can feel good about a movie and still point out 10 bad things about it and still like it, which makes no sense. That was
how a lot of conservatives ended up reviewing Barbie, because you left the theater feeling good about it after you watched it, even though on paper, in every single way, it's the antithesis of all of your values.
Right.
I hate, like, I like almost all the movies that I end up watching. There's very few movies this year that I hated that movie with Jennifer Lopez, The Mother. I absolutely hated that movie. There was a couple of them. I couldn't finish that last spy thriller with Gal Gadot on Netflix. But for the most part, if I can be entertained for 2 hours, I'm going to give it a 5 or higher most of the time.
Here's the thing about Barbie. Whether it was now or 2012, I wasn't going to watch it. Yeah. Period. I don't watch Barbie. And it's one time
where that phrase, "it's not for you," actually was true. And you could take that and accept it for what it was.
Exactly.
I think that will become more common now. Like now, if movies like this become more common and it's no longer like this type of unicorn where there's actually a movie that's finally made for women that's not just substituting male characters for female characters, men will just opt out and be like, I don't have interest in it.
Its flaws and could have been done so much better, but it got the basics right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've heard people say this and I've said it, but I just didn't use this term, but now I do. Outrage fatigue. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to just be complaining all the time, sounding like the old man on the park. Get off my lawn. I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? And first and foremost, I didn't get in this fight for that. This fight I got into, number one, actively being out there in the street. Like, I've been literally face to face with Black Lives Matter, Antifa in the middle of the street, like face to face. Like, yo, a lot of people haven't. They just do it on the phone.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that to say that I got in this fight because of our rights being taken from the whole COVID stuff. That's what, and then being able to not work based on my political affiliation. That's really what made me get into it. I didn't get into it to try and feel like the moral authority.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people on our side, we've gotten to the point, a lot of us, that we dictate morality. We're the ones that go, we're doing exactly the thing that we said the other side was doing that we didn't like. We're doing it, but under our banner.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a point where it's like the woke left is like, if you don't think this way or act this way, then you're not with us and you don't belong. And we fought against that, but now we're like, if you don't do this way or that way, then you don't belong. I'm like, now you're doing the same thing.
Yep.
I keep saying, I don't like woke, period. Woke right or woke left. I don't want woke.
I just don't like the word. More than anything,
you don't like purity testing.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
That
purity spiraling on either side.
Yeah, like don't listen. At the end of the day, we don't have to. Someone that I wouldn't quote normally, but I'm going to quote. Michelle Obama said something in regards a few years back. She goes, just because you can say something doesn't mean you need to say something. So just because you got a mouth doesn't mean you need to express what you don't like all the time because you got a cell phone and everybody feels their voice is important because everyone can just type something and think the world.
I actually feel, well, I guess she's not really a politician. I actually feel like the only group of people that I don't want to hear that from is politicians. Mm-hmm. If I'm being completely honest, I agree with the sentiment, but a politician should actually expect and want everybody to have their opinions heard. So Michelle can kick rocks on that.
Michelle,
she's not really a politician.
Michelle can kick rocks barefooted down a hill in Arizona. The thing is that it's to a point. That's why even sometimes I just take breaks off of Instagram because I want to say things. I have an opinion on everything, but I'm humble enough, which I hate saying that too, but I would say are more self-aware enough to understand that my opinion isn't that damn important. I don't need to constantly everything that I don't like speak on, and everything that I think should be this way say something about, so that I can look virtuous to people on my side, or to be, and the other thing I hate, to be in such a rush to be first to say something so that I could be relevant. Like Denzel Washington said one time, he's like, people
I was about to pull that quote out, and then you'd go
in
for
a
it.
rush, and they're so quick to be first that they don't care about being right.
Yep.
Like you're so, I just want to be the first one to say sound of freedom. I want to be the first one to say Trump this, or the first one to say, and then we go look back or say some mess like, oh, you reclined your seat, and it's like, what are we talking about? Seat reclining? Really? We're talking about seat reclining.
It's actually kind of difficult because I feel that way. I do feel that way exceptionally about politics, but like the job of this podcast is literally to have opinions. But even then, people will ask our opinions on certain topics where I'm like, I don't have an opinion on that. So it's like we have them every day, but on a very narrow, realm of topics, pop culture, movies.
Well, that's different. What you guys do is different, though.
But like when I go on Twitter, like I don't post about anything political ever, because why would anyone care about what me, who is not a political expert, has to say? I have my opinions, but why would anybody care about what I have to say about that stuff? It's not going to lead you towards any grain of like exceptional truth or knowledge. It's just my opinion.
But you're not telling people, but also you guys aren't telling people, go protest this, go make sure
actually,
this bill.
I have a motto here. It's not enough to just not be an activist. I believe it's your job and it's your duty as a human being to be actively anti-activist.
What the hell does that mean?
You should not just not protest. You should protest not protesting. And protest, yes,
protesting.
You should protest protesting, but on your own and away from everyone else. You should protest protesting by not protesting.
Silently protest.
Exactly.
Protesting.
All the time.
So basically, shut up.
Yes. Well, yeah, there you go. That's a quicker way to do it.
Shut up.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.